Hey guys, welcome back to Yogic Yoga. In this week, we do a little bit of a different take. I want to share with you what I've learned so far on my journey through yoga, through stretching. So let's begin. So to give you a bit of background, I was never ever flexible. I remember going back 20, 25 years, I was the only child in my school who couldn't touch his toes. That's how bad it was. A few years ago, I started running. This would have been 7 years ago now. And after every run, I would have a stretch session. I would stretch the hamstrings, I would stretch the thighs, the calves, and sometimes the groin. I would usually spend about 45 seconds to a minute in each stretch. But I didn't really have any flexibility gains whatsoever. In fact, the only thing was I would get a bit of release or a bit of relief from the tension built up during the run, but no flexibility gains to speak of. So to be clear, I stretched 3 or 4 times a week for about 10 minutes each time, and I saw no gains whatsoever. And now we come to yoga. And so I started practicing yoga seriously last year. In the autumn, it was up to 2 and 3 sessions a day for my teacher training, especially. The result, injury to my wrist, pain everywhere, and again, not much mobility gains. In fact, it's because I got injured that I had to find another way to practice whilst my classmates were training. So I decided to do something different. I started stretching differently. I applied 3 principles that I want to share with you today, and those 3 principles actually allowed me to have very big mobility gains in a short amount of time, and I hope they will for you too. Principle number 1 is about time. How long do you spend in each stretch? Now, I was growing very frustrated because in yoga, we sometimes only spend a couple of seconds in each position, which is not enough to feel something. Where are you supposed to feel the stretch? And so I started stretching and holding the positions much longer, from 45 seconds up to even 90 seconds for each position. Principle number 2 is about repetition. Contrary to what I used to do after each of my runs, where I would only stretch my hamstring once, here we want to repeat the stretch of the same muscle group several times, and this will increase the mobility gain. I also used to stretch very mechanically. I would be distracted or think of something else, hoping that the stretch would work regardless. But in fact, that's not the case. Principle number 3, and the most important, is what you do with your mind during the stretch. Your job is to be aware of what is happening as it is happening. And to do so, you use your breath. As you stretch, you ensure that you are focusing on your breathing and you are making deep breaths. And this will really change the mobility gains for each position that you hold. And so by applying these 3 principles, the time of the stretch, the repetitions, and the awareness, I was able to massively increase my gains in a very short amount of time. I mean, we're talking days. Okay guys, so it's time to practice. In the next video, we'll post a flow for deep stretches that we'll practice together. You can practice this flow 2 or 3 times a week, and I hope that, like me, you'll see very quickly the gains you can make for your mobility. Let's go.